One thing I've always wanted to do is complete 75 hard while pregnant. And when we first found out that we were having a baby, I was like, fantastic, perfect time. And then we thought we were going to lose that baby. And as a result, just the weight of that caused me to spiral. I fell out of practice. I failed the program. Then I tried again. I was like, no, let's get this. We've got to get through it. It's not only for yourself, it's for your future child as well. And then I had an absolutely insane 3-day weekend where I would vomit up every time I took a glass of water. And so I failed again. And then I fell into bad practice again, eating terribly, trying the program, falling off after a few days, etc., etc. And eventually I got into it. I got into a great swing. And then my friend had a miscarriage and I relapsed into laziness, using food once again as a comfort and falling off and failing again, but no longer. This is my final week of 75 hard at almost 36 weeks pregnant. Here's what changed. Hello, sinners, saints, my fellow ribs and the glories of men. Welcome back to another video. My name's Grace. If you've hung around any time on the channel, you've probably heard me talk about 75 hard. I'm a massive advocate for the program. I love it. I've done it several times. I've completed it once in 2019 and then again in 2021/2022. I was back there when it kind of first got announced to the world and jumped right on it. And it's been a fantastic challenge for me to be able to grow better and get better each and every time. I should probably explain. What is 75 hard? 75 hard is a program developed by Annie Frisella. It's not a challenge. If I mistakenly use that word, that's a mistake. It's a program of self-discipline. It's not about losing weight. It's not about looking good. It's about self-discipline. Now, the program requires 5 components every day, 5 tasks every day, and that is a gallon of water, a diet of some form, at least no alcohol, no junk, 2 workouts, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outdoors and they need to be separated by 3 hours. 10 pages of reading a non-fiction book a day and a progress picture. Now, I've done the program. I've started the program probably hundreds of times. I've failed on all of these counts at some point. And I've grown a lot as a result. The program's been so helpful to me. I remember in my first labor with my first birth, it was a 46-hour posterior labor, which is one of the most painful types of labors that you can have. But I remember thinking to myself, you know what? 75 hard, the first round that I did it, combined all of that, like distill all the discipline down, it was still mentally tougher than this labor right now. So it is a tough program if you do it well. And I've gotten better each time. My internal requirements and standards of myself have gotten better each time, even just on the diet front. So for the first time, I was like, no junk food, no buying out food, but no processed sugars. That's the way I worded it. But for me, that allowed me to gouge myself on honey soy chicken chips. And then the next time I was like, well, no processed sugars, no junk food, but that still allowed me to gouge myself on chai lattes, for example. And so each time I've grown and my internal standards have gotten better for what I expect myself out of this program. But since the last time that I've finished it in 2022, I've really struggled to see it to conclusion. I've tried in my first pregnancy to do it. I tried in the postpartum phase to do it. I've tried it as we were trying to conceive in September last year. I've really struggled to finish the program, and there's a few reasons for that, and you might relate. Number 1, the water component. Probably my most hated part of the program. If I hadn't done this, I would have finished the program easily 10 times over. The water component is so difficult. For example, I just find myself so frequently up late at night chugging the water, last minute right before bed. It also causes extra mineral loss. I've had to take on extra supplements. I've had to probably get an iron transfusion as a result of the extra mineral loss from all the water that I've been processing. And it's hard as well to drink healthy liquids that aren't water, because in my mind it's like I'm using up my dehydration, like the liquids are contributing and it's satiating. I want to be thirsty so that I'm like inspired to drink the water. So the water component is incredibly difficult. But what I've found to be super helpful, especially this round of 75 hard, is water sprints. Now, I have a glass that ends up getting me about 330 mils on average. I'll set a timer every 10 minutes, take a chug, do a glass. Normally 1 or 2 hours of this, I can get almost all of my water done. I need to do eventually 11 and a half glasses over the course of the day. That's proven to be super helpful. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer to my mouth because I think I'm waking up my son. He's sleeping right now. Poor planning is another one. Not only, of course, with the water component, but just planning your workouts. There was one day where I couldn't get my workout in early. We had some complications throughout the day, and like we were on a camp, and as a result I had to end up doing my workout in the hallway of a hospital while I was in preterm labor, going up and down abandoned corridors of the hallway while waiting to be called in to get assessed. But on top of that, what has been proven super helpful for us to be able to do our workouts, and I say us because my husband's also joined me on this journey as well a little bit later on. We've moved to a much more safer neighborhood, and so now we can do outdoor workouts at night, and that's made a massive difference. So if you are in a safer area of town, you've got it a lot easier. On top of that as well, with food, I've done well occasionally because there's some events that I know you go to and it's like, I know this person's just going to serve junk food, and so eating beforehand is great. Now, I had the inverse issue last night actually, and I was like, I completely forgot they just serve like straight pizza and I'm doing no junk food. So I got home so hungry and so hangry as well. That was quite the challenge. And then on top of that, if I'm being completely honest, sometimes there's just overwhelming test days where your whole world is falling down, where like everything goes to the wall and hits the fan. We had that, like I mentioned, one day where I couldn't just get in the first workout. We had to go to hospital. Actually, that's happened twice. And I've had to do my work. I did my outdoor workout outside the hospital. So there's some days where things just go crazy and hit the fan. And ultimately, in those days, you have to remember this is where the test comes. This is where the discipline is built. This is where in the future you'll be able to look back in a moment of massive trial and go, if I can do that, then I can do this. And so, yeah, sometimes there's just really tough test days that test you. But on top of that, my husband has mentioned that he's found it helpful how I harass him at the end of each day. Have you done your water? Have you done your picture? Have you done your reading? And he's like, if you hadn't done that, I would have given up long ago. So maybe an accountability partner is very helpful. But ultimately, to answer your question, what made it different this round? What was the realization or the why that made it different this round that managed to project me almost fully through to the end? Well, at least now we are in our final week. I was sitting there in the movie theatre, chugging out on lots of junk food, lots of sugar, just also kind of mourning the news from my friend. And I realised this doesn't make me a better friend. This doesn't make me a better person. This doesn't make me a better mother or wife or church member. This, in fact, pulls me back. Now, in all of life, we're either moving forward or backwards. There's no stagnation. Stagnation ultimately is backwards. So having that realization of, man, yes, there are times to mourn. Yes, there's times to be sad and go through things and have breaks, of course. but this wasn't helping me serve the people around me. And so that realization, that why, I want to be a blessing to other people, a benefit. I want to uphold other people and help them run further and faster, not drag them down, not weigh on them, not drain on them. That was the motivation for me being able to finish in a week my 3rd round of 75 hard. So let me know down below if you've ever tried or are considering, or if have even finished 75 hard. What was your why? Would love to hear it. Anyway, grace and peace from our Lord and Saviour, and I'll see you tomorrow.